Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and today we're here to talk about how to get more listings. So, I'm not sure how much you know about us. We are here as a real estate advertising platform. We help agents with social media. We help them get more buyers, and we help them get more listings. There's a lot of ways of doing that. Some of them are obviously online, and some, are paid ads, and some are free tools like e-flyers. Some ways are also print tools. So when you're out there trying to kind of build out your farm market, engage more buyers and more sellers, there's definitely a lot here. So with that, I want to kind of talk a little bit about what other resources are here for you to learn how to, unwrap listings to leads. And the first one I think you might have found is leadgenwebinars.com. And Lead Gen Webinars is where you can sign up for classes like this, Top Tools for More Listings, and Scott does a social media database farming class. I also do a class on Facebook and Google Ads, which I recommend, and Get Started, right? And so these are all helpful classes that you need to take. Facebook and Google actually has a lot to do with getting listing leads. So, you want to catch that call when you can. Now, every call that we do is recorded, and it's right here on this channel here. So I'm going to send this to everybody. And just as a reminder, if you have questions, feel free to just ask in the chat panel there. And I just sent this link to everybody, and I definitely recommend, remember I just mentioned a couple of a couple of classes that are on the Lead Gen Webinars page. But I actually recommend, here's the Facebook and Google class. I definitely recommend that you are watching a couple versions of Top Tools for More Listings, because I don't say exactly the same thing. I actually get feedback. Scott and I talk to realtors every day. And so we get a lot of feedback, and I often am sharing those ideas. And I have actually a new idea, not a new idea, but something that I had a conversation with a realtor just about a half hour ago, and we were talking about something that's related to this. So the last resource, other than our support team, is our Mastermind group, right? So you can watch live classes, you can watch recorded classes on our YouTube channel, but this is a private group on Facebook. So you can join here if you're a client. And I want to kind of scroll down because we always get questions here, and this is one that's totally relevant. Came in yesterday morning. It says, I started running a home value Facebook ad recently, did the default lead on my LDL dashboard, got 2 leads within 24 hours, however, no address. Okay. And I'm trying to avoid, so they don't want to know like why it's only getting addresses, but I'm going to explain to you why it is getting addresses only, and explain to you kind of, my view on this of how we should approach it. So that's a big topic. We'll leave this here and we'll come back. Okay. And let's close this and let's go look at something here. So Scott and I get a report every Monday, and it tells us like who's generating the most leads. And so I want to give you a couple of examples. So capturing leads, there's a lot of ways to capture listing leads, and there's different quality of listing leads depending on how you are getting them, and we're going to definitely dive into all that. But one of the simplest things, and the first things that you should all be doing, is creating home valuation landing pages, right? And so this person here said, yeah, I created an ad. I don't even know what she did, but I know why she got just addresses. So we'll kind of look at that together. So here are 5 landing pages created by our clients. And you can see here they're generated, 30 list leads in 30 days, 26 leads, 24. And these are home value landing page leads. So let's look here at what Claudia did, right? And these guys are in Virginia. And one thing that I always recommend is when you create a landing page to put a photograph in the background of something that's relevant to your market. And this looks like one of those kind of outlet shopping areas. And so you would kind of go, oh yeah, you know my area. And that seems to be working pretty effectively for her because she's got 30 leads in 30 days for home value. Now, Frank here is kind of new. I don't really remember his page. So this is a new one, and he's got almost 30 leads as well. And this is kind of interesting because it says, what is your Montgomery County home worth, right? And I typically don't tell people to do this kind of landing page countywide, but he's getting some good results. So, you know, we're all learning all the time. I'll explain to you why I don't think operating in a county is great. I think it's a lot of realtors want to do this for time savings because they don't want to create a landing page for every neighborhood. But my county, I live in Contra Costa County, okay? And the price range in this county ranges from 300 grand to 30 million. And so I don't really care who knows everything about the county. I want the person who knows my town, who specializes in my town. And so I would more likely, and I think a lot of people would more likely respond to a page that is specifically talking about a town and not a county. Okay. So, and that doesn't, you know, and that's true if you bought a home for 300 grand or if you bought a home for 3 million. You want the person who's going to get you top dollar. And that's why you really have to be city specific. Now, this guy here is from Assist to Sell. Assist to Sell is this interesting company. They have offices, and this guy runs ads for many years with us, and he's always on this list. And he's actually in Canada, right? And so he gets these seller leads, puts them in his database, and he works them. He's been doing this for probably 5 years. But it's a simple page, right? It doesn't even talk about an area. So that works for him up in Canada. And then Melinda and Anthony, I can't remember what they're doing. Oh yeah, Portico. So Portico is kind of a development, right? It's almost like a golf course community. And so they're focused on getting listings in that area. So you can see they have a kind of the entrance picture there, right? And so that works, and they're using it however they're mailing it or getting it out. And then Gary Doss, I think Gary's new to us. I've seen his page a couple times, so he's definitely out there using this. And I don't know where Big Bear Lake is, but boy, that sure is a beautiful home. And so, you know, the homes probably look a lot like that. You know, oftentimes things are built in the same time frame. So that can kind of work. And these are the most effective home value landing pages going on in the past 30 days. Okay. So let's go look at and see what else I've got opened here, right? So we can close that, close that, close that, and that. And let's talk about this question here that this lady asked yesterday, right? Which is, I'm running an ad and for home value, and I'm just getting addresses. So let's go kind of check, how can that be, right? Now, let me ask a question for all of you here. Have all of you run ads on Facebook with our software? Just give me a yes or no, because this is really important. And this particular, what's happening to this lady is a default setting, and I actually am not a big fan of this setting. But anyway, I'm going to explain to you why this is. So she went in and she probably clicked on generate seller leads, and that's what we're talking about today, is to get seller leads. So if you click that button, all the tools that are available to help you capture seller leads, they're kind of all right here, right? So that would be ads, that would be later stage listings and marketing those. That would be seller landing pages, which you each have, you know, a good number. You have 40. No, actually, you have unlimited landing pages, and then you have 40 seller PDF guides. So all of these tools are designed to get you listings, right? So let's do this, and let's talk about what that lady said in the mastermind group. She says, I created a home value landing page, and let's see here. Now, did we change it? Because what she is saying is it's a traffic ad. Yeah, let me go over here. Yeah, well, let's just do this. This is what she did. It's a traffic ad. And what that means, let's just create the ad. And what that means is when you do the ad, it's going to show you the picture that's on your landing page. and you have to type in where you want it to go, right? So maybe you say Tampa, right? And that's going to show there, right? Now, this is if you're using a traffic ad, and I'm going to take us over to the landing page to talk about the home valuation landing page. Now, remember, I just showed you 5 that our clients created in their own account. And I want to show you this one because this one right here is the one that you have in and everybody has. So I didn't actually get time to look at her ad earlier today, right? So before the call. And it's important because Scott always likes to put this cool picture here, but this is not what your landing pages look like when you log in, okay? So I'm removing it right now to kind of get us to where we can see the default situation of it, right? What it actually looked like. And that's exactly what it looks like right there, okay? And I don't know where you guys live, right? I don't know what city or state or, geographic region. You might be in Canada or you might be in the Caribbean. I don't know. But what I do know is that this little background picture does not look like everybody's neighborhood, right? That's a default. So when you come to this page, and let's just refresh it. This free home values is used a lot. It's kind of embedded in many of your tools. And a lot of agents will run an ad on that because they've seen that, they like it, and they want more leads, and they just think, I'm going to go for it, right? I want to show you what happens when you go to this page. It says, you want your free home value? Give us your address. Okay, so I type in my address, right? That's very easy. Everybody's actually really comfortable doing that. And that's what the lady on our mastermind group says, because I got 2 leads in 24 hours, but I just got the address. So what happened? Well, when they clicked, we brought them to this page. So we get the address and they come to this page, and this one has something that's saying, hey, what's your selling price? What would you sell for? Which I don't know if that's a default setting, but here's where the problem is. When you ask people to type in their name, email, and phone number, and why, just thinking about it, many people will not do this. In fact, this lady is telling you out of the 2 leads she got, nobody did it, right? And that's just human nature. That is just how it is. I don't know how you're getting people there, but that's when you're doing an online ad, many people are really hesitant and resistant to get to loading that information, to typing that in, right? And I'm sure many of you have seen, like you get a lead for a Mickey Mouse at Disney.com and some random phone numbers. That's what some people will do, right? But they're not going to get their home value until they give you that information. So I'm going to click view my report just so we can see what happens. Now, if they give you the contact information just like this, it's going to drop them on an instant home value, okay? And if you see there's like gold button here, these are all call to actions. If people want to download stuff or schedule an interview or see your reviews, it's all here, but they can see, they can there are multiple ways to book an appointment with you. But this number here, these values, you're getting copied on, and you can tell where they're coming from, right? So I just want to kind of point out that this is the default setting. And let me kind of go, because maybe Scott finally changed that, because man, I just don't think it makes much sense. But let's go look over here. And what I'm saying is our default setting for home value ads has been for a long time creating, I'm going to do the same exact ad. Okay, so it's lead ads. That's good. That's good. It's been traffic. And I'm always against having a traffic ad on this kind of page, because I know people don't want to give you their information. So let's talk about the workaround. And the workaround is now the default setting, which means let's just start over. Let's just start over. If we go to landing pages and we know that that landing page is going to grab addresses and people are going to leave, well, then we know we have a problem, right? So if I click on marketing tools here, and I click on Facebook and Instagram ads here, yeah, the default setting is traffic. That's where it is. So it's when you come from that particular page that's a default setting. I honestly recommend that you change it to lead ads. Okay. And if you don't know anything about our Facebook ad software, I frankly think you should only use lead ads, and no matter what you're advertising, right? And here's how you do it. You type in you change it to lead ads. And this is really important. I'm going to explain to you in just a moment. You type in whatever town you want to target and you click create ad. Okay. And that's going to, when that becomes an ad out on Facebook, people will see it and they'll click on it. I'm going to go to my Facebook now. And you see this is like some kind of law firm ad, right? Your ad shows up right here. Notice that I came in, I see one picture from one friend, and the very next post is a sponsored ad. So your ad that looks like that would be showing up right here. And when I click learn more, let me click on learn more here. It's going to pull up a window like that, and it's going to have the person who clicked on the button, their name, phone number, and email automatically pulled up from their Facebook profile. So they're not typing anything in. And here's the thing, people are so comfortable with Facebook that they will give you their information, boom, just like that. So if you're running the same exact ad with the same exact tool, your results are going to be different if you do a traffic ad. You're going to get leads with addresses. You might get one with an email or a phone number, but when you leave it on lead ads, you're getting a name, email, and phone number and a time that they want to sell on every lead. Okay, so that's big. That's very big, and I definitely recommend that you focus on lead ads when you're running any kind of ad on Facebook. But the home value one is the one that a lot of people log in, they see that, and they're like, cool. So let's go back to the landing page area. And I want to kind of remind you that if you're going to use our system, make sure that this picture here looks like your market. And I'm going to kind of, hello. Oh, maybe that was Scott. I'm going to upload a photograph here. And it's easy. You need a photograph that's about 2,000 pixels wide. And once you do that, okay, we can insert there. That will pop it in here. And then when you're using it in our advertising and we've got it auto embedded in your tools, it looks like something that's relevant to your market, right? And that's kind of the key, so that you don't have that suburban driveway going on. You know, if you live in the southern states, it may not look like that. We have a lot of clients in Maine and in Canada. They don't have neighborhoods that look like that at all. So it takes a few seconds to just change that photo. Now, here's the other thing about the landing page section. You remember I showed you the landing pages at the beginning, and I said here are 5 agents who are capturing a lot of seller leads. Well, they start right here. They go to create landing page. It's Property Valuation Plus, and you type in the name of your favorite town and click create landing page, and boom, we create it, right? The landing page looks like this, super generic. And remember how you're getting people to this page. It might be an online ad, it might be print, it might be an e-flyer, but this doesn't really instill confidence in a world where there's spam and all kinds of weird, what do you call it, scams, right? You get scams in your email every day of the week. You get spam phone calls every day of the week, right? So you want this to really resonate with the person that you're targeting and make sure that that photo looks like something that they're going to go, oh, you know my area, right? And so it's easy to do. You just click the pencil here and you get a picture that's 2,000 pixels wide and you do that, right? And so we have a lot of examples of that kind of here, right? But that's how you get your landing page ready for the market. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type in Orinda. Orinda is a small town over by me, and I built one. I put in, I'll show you what it looks like. There's a picture of the local movie theater, right? This thing, you might have something like this in your area. It's kind of old fashioned. What's crazy to say, it's almost 100 years old now, right? And this town is about 22,000 people. And it's, it's a great little kind of, bedroom community. close to the big cities, but not too close. So it's a great town and a great area to sort of market to, right? So if you create that landing page and you click marketing tools, you're going to see that you can run an ad on Facebook, right? And that would be kind of an easy thing to do. And now you should probably do a lead ad, right? If you like name, email, and phone number. Now, you can also run ads on Google. And Google is really smart because those are higher quality leads, more expensive leads, but higher quality, right? So let me explain to you why that is the case. So I'm going to just type in Orinda, and you would just click this button, boom, create ad. There's more to talk about, so we'll kind of look at that. But remember when I took us to Facebook and I said, yeah, you come here and you look at one thing first, which is coming from something that you follow or a friend, and then the next thing is an ad, right? So that's how Facebook works. But remember, you came here to look at what your friends did over the weekend and look at your kids and what they did and all kinds of, the holiday pics like this, right? And that's why Facebook is so powerful. It's a #3 website in the country. And if you're trying to get listings, I recommend that you are running ads on Facebook every week. They are inexpensive. They are easy to get, and as you can see, you can get them with name, email, and phone number. But also they're really fast. I mean, it works like it's no work. It's click 2 buttons and boom, you're there. Okay. So, but Google, and that's what we're looking at here. Google is the #1 website in the country. And 86% of all questions on the internet are asked on this page. If I want to know where to get a martini in town, or what's the best hotel in Miami, or how do I sell my home, or what's the commission on selling a home, or anything about home, there are 50 questions that people type on Google. Your ads are responding, if you're using our system, are responding to those keywords. And I'll show you what I mean. You don't have to do this when you're running an ad, but you see in advanced options, there's all these keywords. We put those there automatically because we know what people are searching on. So we do everything that you need to do to be competitive on Google. We just make it incredibly easy, 2 clicks. Now I want to point out that if you click view link, which you don't need to, but we know we're going to drive people here, and we know that people don't like to put their email in there, right? They don't like to put their phone number on here. However, there's a difference of Google and Facebook, right? Facebook, I was just goofing around looking what my friends are doing. Oh, Andrea. But Google, I went and had a question that I wanted an answer to, right? And so if that's what happened, and I went to Google and asked a question like, what is my home worth? Or how do I sell my home? Or what should I do? And your ad shows up. Well, I might very likely fill that out because I want the answer that you're giving, that I'm responding to in this little text over here, right? So you're more likely to get the contact information from a Google ad than a Facebook ad. That's if you're driving the traffic, right? If you're using Facebook lead forms, which is what I talked about just a moment ago, you're going to get name, phone number, and email every time. So I definitely recommend that. Then there's social media posts, so you can share these for free. We can share them automatically to your social media. You won't get a lot of leads that way, but I think it's smart to have it as auto post like once a month. There's an e-flyer for your database at the back of every one of these. So, I definitely recommend that you're using one of these once a month on your database. If you got thousands of leads or even hundreds of leads, this link here says, hey, get your home value. This page here is another page with all your listings and landing page, a lot of lead capture. And this has all of your reviews and all your listings and a lot of lead capture. So this one flyer is just designed to capture leads. Now, when you click copy code, you're going to be copying this freaky stuff, which is called HTML. You take it to your own CRM, you paste it in there, and then maybe you click a button that says view or whatever. And once it looks like this, then you blast it on your leads. Now, I will tell you this, we create postcards and door hangers for all of our tools. And on the front, you'll notice there's a QR code saying, hey, scan me for your free home value. On the back, there's another link. It says, hey, home values have changed and all this and that has happened. So you can mail out postcards if you want. And also, one of our clients over in Texas, he prints up these door hangers by the thousand. Okay, so he creates the landing page and he gets these by the thousand from Vistaprint, right? And he sends them over to Vistaprint. He says it's really cheap when you do that. And then he just walks the neighborhood. He does not even door knock. He just walks and hangs them and keeps walking, because he says by the time you get back to the office, you've got listing leads, because people will open their door, they'll see this, and they scan that and they get their free home value. It's that easy. Very easy way to do that if you got like walkable neighborhoods, right? So that's a little bit about landing pages. There's also this page here, which is, we call it the home sold report. And it's a letter for just talking about the sales that happened in the previous month, right? And so you can edit it and say, hey, you know what, 20 homes sold last month and the high was here. Leave it all on one page and it says that affect your home value. Scan there to get your free home value, right? Real simple. What you want to do with this, however, is you want to mail it to people with equity, okay? And we actually have a company that we're working with called Express Copy. And if you have an account with them, you can connect that account to this. And then when you click print and mail, they will mail it for you. They'll download it. I'll show you in just a second as it pulls up the API. They'll download it, they'll fold it, they'll put it in an envelope, but most importantly, they will mail it to people who own homes, single family homes, for more than 6 years. And you can decide, hey, I want to do, a 1 or 2 or 3 mile radius around my current listing. So if you have a listing in an area where you want more listings, this is definitely the way to go. And here's the thing, right? When we talked about the quality of the lead, and I said, hey, Facebook, the lead quality isn't the highest, but definitely we have clients converting those leads. So I'm not trying to, belittle them. But when you mail this letter to people in a neighborhood that have equity, this is pretty compelling, because if they have to open the envelope, scan it real quick and realize like, oh, they're talking about home values here. And then they scan this with their smartphone and then give you their address and their email address. Those people are seriously thinking about the value of the home. And those are people that you need to be working on, for whatever time it takes, because nobody's going through all that to get there, right? To get that home value answer. So all you got to do is click submit order, right? It's so easy. High quality leads there, okay? So when we think about quality, I think the highest quality leads come from the mailings, when you're mailing to people with equity, right? And I actually recommend every client is doing 2 mailings every month into their favorite farm market. It could be a postcard, it could be a door hanger, or it could be a letter like this. We have another letter like this. I'll show you. It's even more important. And you should be running 1 Facebook ad every week in, kind of that same area, right? And that's kind of what you should be doing. And you should be taking our e-flyers and getting those out there. So here you see e-flyer for your database. So if you got a database of homeowners already in your possession, you should put that on a CRM and then copy this and blast it out. Basically, you should be emailing your database once a week with one of our tools. I'll show you where some other tools are in a moment. So let's, just for this point in the discussion, mail once or twice a month to your farm market, run an ad every week into that farm market on Facebook, also on Google, and then the Google ones are more expensive, so maybe once a month there. And then do e-flyers, right? So that's it. So when we look at the landing page, this could be one of those tools that we want to do. I'm going to move up to the PDF guides here, because you may not be using the PDF guides. You may not even know they're in your account, but there are 80 of these, and they are branded to you on every page. And if you notice here, you can click on buyer ones or you can click on seller ones. And since this call is top ways to get more listings, let's talk about this part, right? The seller ones, there are 40 here. They're all about 5 or 6 pages long. And they are all branded to you on every page. They got your color scheme, they got your logo, they got your headshot on every page, right? So if I click marketing tools here for 12 mistakes to avoid, you'll notice that I have an e-flyer for your database. Remember when I said you should be emailing your leads once a week? You should be emailing them with one of our tools, because if you have leads in a CRM, or you have a list of market in your CRM, you might have a drip campaign going, right? Because you might have any of the great CRM companies here in the country. But what you will notice is people are not calling you from those drip campaigns, right? They're not even interacting with you. They're just getting your mail whenever the time frame you decided. But when you're using our e-flyer for the database, there's a lot of call to actions in there, right? You can click on that link, you can click on that photo, you can click on that link or that link, and they can land on a page that's going to get, ask for their contact information. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep those clients or those leads engaged with valuable information that's branded to you that they can use. There are 40 of these for homeowners, right? And then also, you can share, or you can have us share it for free automatically to your social media accounts. And you can also run Google ads. And I'm going to say this, we just had a guy just a couple months ago take this exact report and run an ad just like I'm doing right now. Boom, create ad, and he got listing leads, and one of those leads turned into a listing, in that week, right? So that's Google can be very useful like that. I think I saw Brian on the call here. Is that right? Let me see here. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, so Brian's on the call, and Brian has a company, an LPT office. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Facebook group, because Facebook has high quality leads, right? This is our mastermind group, and a lot of our clients, including Brian, who's on the call here, they will come and share what's going on. And what Brian has shared with the team, and I definitely recommend you go check it out, although it looks like it's gone now. Oh yeah, it's right here. Is he does a video, and he says, yeah, I just ran an ad. Well, first of all, he said, I ran an ad on the home and I got 114 leads, and a bunch of people bought homes from that lead set. But then he flipped the home to sold, runs an ad, gets a seller lead, texts it, gets on a phone call later that day, and sets an appointment to get a listing from that particular ad. And that's how effective these ads are, right? So I know there's still a lot of agents out there that are not, they don't even know what's going on with social media, and they don't like social media. And I get that. I mean, it's just something that exists now that didn't exist before. But what I was saying is people are on social media all the time, right? They are just on it. They're looking at whatever, whatever they want to follow, right? Their friends, their family, whatever. So for you in real estate, it's one of the smartest places for you to be investing money in ads. It just is, especially if you're using our software, because you're going to get names, emails, and phone numbers in your leads, right? So you now know that you can run ads with landing pages to get listing leads, and you can run ads and use flyers and print tools for your PDF guides. But let's also talk about listings. So, if you market, we've actually had clients, and if you look at the name of this class, it's like how to get 2.2 listings for every listing or something like that, right? And what that means is one of our clients, who's also in the mastermind group, he's got a huge team. The growth story of Dustin Fox is remarkable in the real estate industry. It's remarkable. And he's a client of ours. I sold their office, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago now. And when I sold their office, it was Pearson Smith. They had 300 agents. He was a rookie, 2 years in the business. And now he's got his own book. He's selling his own book, and he has a team of 24 agents And he's the top selling agent. And now the office has grown, same office, used to be 300 agents. It's now 1,000. And he's got his own book, and there's a lot of great stuff in there. And I think there's even a section on listings to leads, right? But when we first learned about Dustin, it was because he came in the Mastermind group in 2018 and said, hey, I'm using your nearby homeowner letter, and I put it in an envelope with black envelope, and I mail it first class, and I got a little calendar. He was even taking his Zillow reviews and making a little Canva deal, mails it to people first class, 250 homes, costs him 625 bucks. But yeah, he gets 10 listings with the average commission of 17 grand. So he's saying that's our highest ROI. That was his first announcement in listings to leads in our Mastermind group. One of the more recent ones is that he's written a book on marketing. That, you know, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying this guy has grown a lot. And the number one tool I think that he would tell you, and he actually just did a call with RE Technology, and he said, yeah, we use this tool. So the tool that I'm talking about, it's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. And every listing that you have has this letter, right? And there's actually a lady I'm going to talk about, I named Deborah, who I was speaking with this morning, and she was like, God, somebody is using my listing that I sold, and it was a beautiful home, and they're advertising and getting listings from it, right? Which, you know, some MLSs you can do that, but this is the tool that you want to be using. And this is the tool that Dustin uses, and Pat Motley uses, and it's just it's a valuable tool. Remember that flyer that I showed you on the back of the home valuation page? Well, this looks a lot like that. It's very similar, right? It's very simple, but this is something that you use when you have a home that is just listed, and again when you have a home that's just sold, right? And you can see it's like you scan it in 5 seconds and you make a decision. Hey, we just listed something, go check it out. That affects your home value, go here to get your free home value, right? Now, I clicked on it because I'm on a computer, but this is one of those tools that you mail to people with equity, right? And if you want to do that, like I said on the other page, we have Express Copy here who can do that right for you, right? But I want to show you something else in the Mastermind group, because you know Express Copy can do that. It's going to be super easy. But there's a lady over here named Pat Motley, and you should find this post and you should read the discussion that's occurred because of it. She said last fall, hey, I'm mailing this out. I just sold a home, and she mails it out. She's been doing this for years with us, over 10 years. She mails every time she sells a home, she mails out 100. Every time she lists a home, she mails out 100. So 200 go out per listing. But she always flips it over, and then on the back uses Microsoft Publisher to put this little envelope deal. Then she hand folds these things and hand writes these. You see that red stamp? It looks like a stamp. That's actually done by Microsoft Publisher. Why would Pat do that if we can do it in 2 clicks with Copy Express Copy? Well, the reason is that the first 100 got 4 people calling her. That letter is so compelling because it's handwritten and you can tell it's local, that 4 people called for a home value report. This batch, which is the second batch, and you can look in the comments because I asked her, I said, how did that go, right? She said, oh, I got another 3 people calling her and 1 more person texting. They all want to sell this year, right? So that's 1 home and 200 pieces of mail. This is why people can multiply their listings with us. That is the number 1 tool. Now, I want to point out that there was a lot of chit chat with the agents because of that post, and Pat was gracious enough and generous enough to actually share the little script you need for Microsoft Publisher. It's right here, so you can go download it if you want. If you use Microsoft Publisher, I just did there. And that's, you pop it in and you change the address to meet your address, and you change the street and all that, right? Very, very kind of her. But anyway, that's Pat. So that is the Nearby Homeowner Letter. But I also want to say, when you have a home that is later stage, this one is just listed, all of the call to actions are, we're not looking for buyers on a home that is pending or under contract or sold, right? Because it's about to close and then that's over, right? So here, this home is sold. So we have, of course, a nearby homeowner letter here, but postcards can be very effective too, right? If you want to mail out postcards, we have them formatted for Every Door Direct if you like to use them, but you could use Express Copy as well. There are door hangers as well. And then e-flyer for your database, right? Remember I said you should be emailing your database, your CRM every week. This is one of those tools that you should be using, right? Maybe it's one of the tools on the back of a landing page. Maybe it's a tool on the back of a PDF guide or on a home that's sold or an open house. Because look, that link, and that photo, and that link, and that graphic, and that link, and that link, they all are designed to capture leads for you. Okay, if I click on your reviews, what's going to happen? We're going to take them to a web page that has all your reviews. And it's also going to have a bunch of lead capture. It's going to have, the PDF guides. They can see all your listings, right? It's just everything we're doing here is trying to help you capture more leads and look like a marketing powerhouse. So definitely use the e-flyer for your database, right? And don't forget, we're going to auto post when you flip your status to sold, we're going to auto post it to your social media accounts automatically. And we're going to say it affects your home value and click here to get your free home value. So you literally could be getting free seller leads from your social media accounts. This is one on Facebook, but we do it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So you can, and Twitter. So you can do that, right? You can just use our automation to get things out there. So let's talk about this conversation I had earlier today. Okay, so this lady, she sold a really beautiful home. And she sent me a flyer today. She said, yeah, somebody from my old office is marketing my home and getting listings, and I want to do that, right? And so a lot of you sign up because you have a listing, or maybe you are signing up because you don't have listings and you've heard we can help you, right? We can help you if you have listings, and you've heard, we can help you if you don't have listings. Well, this is one thing that a lot of new clients don't know that they should be doing. And if they talk to me, then I definitely tell them, if you sold anything in the past 2 months, get that listing in our account, right? And I'll say, beautiful. I'm just going to create a fake listing here. So just to show you how fast it is, right? 123 Main Street, city, Lafayette, zip code 94. Right, and this is going to auto post, but I'll delete it. And then you got to add all these things, and you got to say, you could put in some description and all that. It's not really required, but here it requires a phone number, right? Not a phone number, I'm sorry. It requires a photograph. So you want a photograph of the home that you're talking about, right? Of the home that you sold. You don't need a lot of photos because you're not trying to get, buyers and they need to look at more details. You're just trying to say, I sold a home and I need to, that's going to help you get your home value. That's really the gist of a sold property, or a property that's under contract, or a property that's sold. So what I'm doing right now is creating a listing. If you're a new client and you sold a property in the past 60 days, you should be doing exactly what I'm doing here. And it takes a moment. This is a big photo, so it's going to take a moment, but it's going to create this listing, right? And it says save and add seller, and that's if you want us to send out tools automatically to the seller, which is great to do. Then you can do that. We can kind of skip the rest. Let's go over here to the listing so we can get back to it and not get drugged through this thing. So on our listings page, this is the one right here, right? This is what we just created. And this lady, Deborah, this is what she wants. She's like, I want to create a flyer, right? And here's an e-flyer for your database, right? It's got a photograph in it. If I click on that link, or that, I'm going to land on this page, and this page is going to have the home, right? Now, this doesn't have a lot of detail in it, but it doesn't matter, because at some point, this is going to pop up and say that affects your home value. Get your free home value, right? So that's kind of part of it, but also this, right, if you scroll down this flyer, it's going to say that affected your home value. So click here to get your free home value. And you recognize this because we started with this at the beginning of the call, right? So this is something that you can use as an e-flyer to get out there. She also wanted a QR code. She said, oh, I have a QR code. And that's great that you have QR codes, but you know what? We actually have a QR code that is designed automatically for you. And it's going to point people to this website, right? And you know that this website is going to offer a free home value. So things are just automatically set up to go. Now, this is the thing you should be doing first when and I'm going to be talking to her again later, but she's thinking like QR code and printing this or whatever. I'm not even sure. Deborah, are you on the call here? But this is the first thing that anybody should do when you have a listing that's sold. You put it in the system and you click create ad, because the cost of these leads is about $7 each on average. And this kind of ad generates, said at the beginning of the call, right? So if you divide 7 into 50, that's, expect 7 leads with $1 left over. This is the fastest way of getting seller leads with name, email, and phone number. Market a home that's for sale, right? Now, that's, what you can do. We've also got just sold postcards, and she's in a really beautiful neighborhood. She should definitely get that going, because the back of the postcard has a lead gen for get your free home value. The front says, hey, go check that out, and you know that there's going to be lead capture there. So definitely, if you like to do mailing, and remember I said you should be mailing 1 or 2 things out every month. Maybe it's a postcard, maybe it's a nearby homeowner letter, and you can use express copy to do that. Just a FYI, is kind of a pro tip. If you turn that on, this is going to grab the recent sales data in that zip code. So when you download this letter, you actually don't have to put much in it, right? You don't have to, let's just look at it. We actually have the sales data, and that makes the letter even more compelling, right? So this home is sold, X number of homes sold, and the high was 1.3. Right? So that's what it's telling you. And now if you mail this to people with equity, that's kind of a good story, right? Well, you can use express copy and they'll do it for you. Or you can follow the Pat Motley school and the other agents like her that are doing their own custom envelope look thing and get higher results, right? So there's a lot of ways of using our system to get listings, and different amounts of time investment, different amounts of hard money investment, and definitely different lead quality as well. So now that this home is sold, and we talked about how to run an ad on Facebook, I do want to point out, because sometimes I hear this, people want to market a home that's sold on Google, and I don't think that's a great idea, right? Let's go over to ads and let's kind of look a little bit at the Google stuff, because I haven't said much about that. But Google, I said earlier, is the #1 website in the United States, and people go there looking for answers. So if you can be on page 1 with your answer and they like it, they're going to click on it and ideally capture a lead. So there are landing pages for free home values. You can create Property Valuation Plus for every one of your farm markets. I've got one over here for Miami. So, we just do that, create an ad, and just sort of leave it on the default and type in Miami. So you're telling Google, hey, I want to show this to people in Miami, and click create ad. That's it. Now I'm going to click this button here again so we can see it. This is a landing page that we created for Miami, right? So you can create your own landing pages, but I do want to point this out, and that's the budget. Remember how I just said if you run a sold ad on Facebook and those leads cost $7 each, you run a $50 ad for a week and you divide that by 7 if the average price is $7. And on here, on Google, leads are way more expensive. They're higher quality, but they're way more expensive. So if you're running an ad like this in Dallas, Texas, these leads cost $30 each. I'm going to guess they're the same or even more in Miami. I don't actually know that. I know in Western Pennsylvania, they're about $22, and in Salt Lake City, they're about $17 each. So you divide 17 and 50, and you can kind of ballpark how many leads you're going to get, right? So depending on where you are, that is a factor. If you live in Vancouver, British Columbia, which a number of our clients do, those leads cost $200 to $300 each, right? There's a big cash buyer market there, and those leads are very valuable, and it's really impossible to compete if you're a new agent. So you compete on the Facebook platform, build your business until you can afford to compete on Google. So anyway, that's a little details about that. So we talked about listings and how to leverage that. We talked about uh, the PDF guides. We talked about landing pages. I do want to say this. So this social content page is an area that some agents set up and some don't. But if you're new to us or even been with us a long time, make sure you're doing this. When you come here, it's going to say connect to your social media accounts, right? So you connect to all your social media accounts. You do it right here. This content is actually helping our clients across the country build their Instagram accounts. It's also helping Google My Business get to page 1 in your local searches. So if you have Google My Business, it's kind of a little web store on Google, you want it to rank high. And by telling us, hey, connect our content, I don't recommend 7 days a week, but you can do as many days a week as you want. And then you choose these topics. And one of, or two of the topics that I definitely want everybody to be using is the PDF guides for sellers and the PDF guides for buyers. Remember, there are 40 of each. So throughout the year, we will post these with landing pages in between so that if they see it, they see the text, they see the graphic, they want to download it, they'll click it, and they got to give you their contact information to download it. So that's really, I think, something that you want to have, as well as some of the other content that's, people like it. It's conversational, colorful, it's useful. So I think that's kind of my story. There's a couple more things. I mentioned this earlier in the call, but when you go to the dashboard, if you click here to generate seller leads, everything that is going to help you generate seller leads is on this page. Okay. And I recommend definitely that if you find you have some downtime and you want more business, that you come here. If you have later stage listings, they're going to be right here. You click market listings, you now know the tools that you need to get out there. There's email blast, all your landing pages are here, and all the PDF guides are here. And if you click marketing tools, that's going to help you. Another really great resource is the marketing calendar at the top. And this is basically a monthly calendar, right? And every day it has one action to do. It doesn't have like 50 things, right? So I know that one of those things that people say is, well, this thing is totally overwhelming to me, right? Well, you can come to this calendar and you can see the little language here. It says buyer and seller leads, or seller leads, or seller leads, and get listings, right? So you can tell what the goal is by the text that we have on it. And if you say, yeah, I want to do a sold market, remember I said everybody should do sold advertising. Well, here is the checklist. You can download the checklist of all the things you should do. Here are the in-depth, in detail class on how to actually do that. And here is where you do it, right? So all the resources for that particular action on every page are right there, all right? And so that's really helpful. If you need more business, more buyers or sellers, just go to the marketing calendar every day. And I know asking people to do something every day is ridiculous, but if you have downtime, you should definitely do that action, because once you get good at it, it'd probably, to go through one day's work there, it might be, I don't know, a 5-minute exercise, but a 5-minute exercise that can get you either buyer leads or seller leads. I think a good use of time. A couple of other things that I want to talk about is we have some classes here, open house, intro to L to L, but also resources. So our YouTube channel is here. Our Instagram channel is really good here. Our mastermind group is here, our support post, and where you want to sign up for the live classes and our blog. It's all right here, and it's on the marketing calendar page. I think it's very useful. I want to talk about one more thing, and this is the last thing. So if you have questions, please let me know. We have a listing presentation that you can download right here, the property marketing plan. It's about 27 pages long, and this thing is practically bulletproof. It talks about all the stuff that we do. It doesn't mention listings to leads. It just talks about you. But in that listing presentation, it's very powerful. So here you can actually create a listing. Remember when I created a listing and it was sold? You could actually create it and give it the status not of sold and not of for sale, but as a listing presentation. And when you do that, we create a listing presentation with that photograph of the home. So remember, I made that listing for the sold property. Well, I could have just as easily made a listing presentation. And so if you are going on a listing presentation, you got the lead somewhere. I don't know how you got it. Maybe it was from us. Maybe it was some other resource. You need to go in front of that house, take your smartphone out or camera, take a photograph, just one, and create a listing presentation and just put in a little bit of data, right? Not too much. You don't need to go bananas. It's not going in the MLS and it's not being advertised out on the internet, right? But we do create this listing presentation and you can download it. And you can bring it on that listing presentation and you can tell people, hey, I'm already working for you. So it's kind of taking a little while to download because it's just so big. But let me ask, are there any questions here? Because we've just got a couple more minutes and then I got to turn this off. If you have questions, we've got a great support team. I'm still waiting for that thing to bake there. If you have questions about team accounts, you can find me over on the lender page. If you click on schedule a demo, I think my contact info is here, but I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. If you need a team account, if you have questions about what's going on, you can email me here at Vince at Listings to Leads, and or you can schedule a call with me if you need to. Let's see here if we got that thing yet. Still generating. Let me see if I have it down here. I think I did have one of these. Yeah, I think this is it here. Yeah, so this is a listing presentation that is in your account. This is one for one of our new clients. Every one of you has this. Now, this one is actually, there's a picture. I think this is a picture. This is the generic one. So you see all these photographs here? When you upload a photograph and you create a listing that says listing presentation, it's going to put their photograph of their house in every one of these slots so that people can understand what your marketing looks like. This is the generic one. This isn't for the particular home. But all of these graphics will all have their photograph in it, right? That will, and as we've been talking today, you maybe can recognize some of these tools. We're also going to have a QR code built automatically. It's somewhere in here, mobile marketing. Yeah, you could actually say, hey, potential listing client, scan this and go, and it'll take their phone automatically to a mobile optimized website of their home. And you can say, hey, I'm already working on this. Let's get this signed. Let's get, these are all the ways that I have to market. They all have lead capture and it's all about you. So definitely use our listing presentation. I don't see, how long does it take for a custom audience to load and get approved? I don't think, hey, Brian, I don't think it takes long to load. Actually, if you go over here to ads and you click on create audience, the format of the audience is here. I am going to say this, Brian, since you know enough to ask about it. I've been recommending this for years, but I think that Facebook might be changing the ability to use a custom audience. And here's why, if you guys know anything, like Facebook was sued at least 5 years ago. And they were sued by HUD for illegal ads. And that was because for some reason, I can't get that button to open, but that's where when you click that button, it's going to show you the format that the spreadsheet needs to look like. You can name it Dallas Homeowners, and it will live in your Facebook account. And it usually gets approved in like a couple of hours, and then you can use it. So let's wait a second and see. But that button right there, create audience, there it is. You name it whatever you want. You upload it here, you import it. It lives inside your Facebook account. Your spreadsheet has to look like this, nothing more and nothing less, okay? But I have read, and I'm trying to verify, I read something, and you read so many weird things, that Facebook is going to not let people use those if they think that they are discriminatory or something. I can't remember what it is. So I got to go. I'm going to try and find out more about that. I did the notification. How long to get approved? Yeah, I think it should be approved, Brian. If you did it a few days ago, if it's not approved, then maybe it's that story that I was just mentioning, which is they're kind of getting a little strict with that. But let me know if go check inside Facebook at your ad manager, and there is a place where you can go to like custom audiences and see if there's any kind of approval mark. Everybody, this call has been recorded. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this helps you. It will be on our YouTube channel, which is over here, and I sent you a link to that earlier. And like I said at the beginning of the call, I honestly think you should watch a couple versions of this class, which is Top Tools or More Listings, okay? Because just like today, I have conversations with people of what they're doing and what questions they have, and I think sometimes I discuss those things. So just check out a couple of those. Thanks so much for joining me. Enjoy the holidays. And one more thing, about Facebook. Thanksgiving was just a couple weeks ago, right? Something like that. And that is the perfect time for all your competitors to take a nap until spring. And many of your competitors do. So when you're running an ad on Facebook, your cost per lead is dropping. It's cheaper to get leads from now till the end of the new year, even into January, than it will be later on in the year. So thanks for hanging out with me. If you have questions, you need to reach out to me, let me know. Our support team is awesome as well. Enjoy the holidays, everybody. Keep safe.